Oh, the Apollo fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took place on New Year's Day. I want you. I want you.
Oh, I have not seen
Mando?
those movies.
I want you, Mando.
Oh. It's been so long since I've seen those movies. It's
I'd like to do maybe in a lull, like in January or February or something where there's not a ton going on. We can do a Rocky retrospective.
or we can do. Some shows actually do like a like right now it's December something, and they're putting out like a short show daily.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do like a week where how many movies are there now? How many were in the Rocky series before?
6 Rockies and 2 Creeds. So 8.
Okay, so if we did like little ones, we took clips and played it and talked about it, kind of like we're doing with our,
Yeah.
We took like a little clip of the fights and we talked about them all the way through. I'd have to watch them all again to refresh my memory.
I would too. We could do it in chunks too, because they kind of happen in chunks. It's like 1 and 2 were more dramatic, 3 and 4 were more like hardcore 80s, and then 5 and 6 dealt with Rocky getting older, and then the 2 Creed movies, which are about Michael B. Jordan.
The fourth one's still my favorite. The fourth Rocky is still my favorite. It is so campy. It's so 80. You know what I mean? It's so
classic.
Running through the the snow training. If he dies, he dies.
He dies. He dies.
Oh man, it's awesome stuff. Oh, I better open up Audacity.
Yes.
Minor details here.
All these Uncut viewers get to see me burp. Oh, nobody watching right now. They missed it.
Oh, I'm so sad for them.
Drinking a Cayman Jack Moscow Mule premium malt beverage with natural flavors.
I think the next time we get together, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to do a live cast, and we're both going to have 2 drinks. I've never had a Moscow Mule.
Hey.
So that's your drink. So I'll have your drink, and you'll have my drink. We'll have a Long Island. We'll have a Moscow Mule. They'll be our drinks of choice during the show.
Jesus, we're going to get tore up.
We've got to bring John up halfway.
Yeah. John, finish the show for us.
We're going to go to sleep.
That's funny.
Oh, that's got to be we'll have to go to like a restaurant or something like that to get them. If they still do it to go. Who knows if they're going to continue to do the drinks to go after,
That's true. I'll make my own Moscow Mule. I don't know if I can make my own Long Island, though.
We'll need like 4 different liquors.
Yeah.
4 or 5 different liquors.
Man, give me the liquor.
It's like this and that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Just dumping liquor in there.
Then it's a little bit of floor.
Like my Griswold sweater.
Oh, that is awesome. I was like, okay, we have to go. We got to go Christmas sweaters. How's it fit?
It's good. Actually fits better than the Mandalorian one.
So you went from really no ugly Christmas sweaters to at least 2 this year.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll get one on Christmas.
That's great.
Should we start recording or what?
I think we should just get rolling.
All right.
And right. And Jesus, why is it so hot? My mic's up like almost 90. Check these balls. Check these balls. Indian Nipple Road.
Dude, we are live.
There's a little bit of bad.
Uncut. Here we go.
Oh, well, we're canceled.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been nice knowing you. Catch you guys maybe sometime soon. 60 minutes. E.T.
Chris is canceled.
Oh my God! Zach said that driving home from our Christmas lights.
What?
We were on Indian Ripple Road. He said, "Are we on?" Like, she doesn't look at each other for a second and just start laughing. Then he starts talking about deck the balls with bales of holly. Like, deck your balls? What? You're in a weird mood, dude. Oh,
You're gonna get more and more of that just dirty 12-year-old humor the older he gets.
dude, you're missing out.
I know. Well, Verona loves like fart jokes and stuff.
I don't know. Girls have their own weird humor.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get the different. I'm gonna get it from both angles.
You
From
are.
Skylar and Zach. I'm gonna get bombarded with this crap.
Yeah.
Okay, you about ready?
Wait, I gotta go on.
Don't you dare, y'all boy. You haven't been doing nothing.
I got up too early. All right.
In 3, 2, 1, and go.
Welcome back to the Dadnarok. Oh, hold on, I came in hot too. Welcome back to the Dadnarok podcast. This is Sean.
And this is Chris.
Hey, we are here again, and it's officially Christmas time. I'm going to count this as our Christmas episode, even though we've been talking about Christmas all month. But this will be the last one for a couple of weeks, right? We're going to take a little holiday break.
Yeah, it's been the first time we've done that. Well, granted, it's only the second Christmas where we've been shooting our I should say, recording.
The many 2 years that we've been in operation.
Yeah, well, this is going to be our first really break. We haven't really taken a week off before, so the fact that my wife has pretty much put her foot down and said no podcasting, no video podcasting, you are taking a break. Pretty much told me I'm not doing anything besides this one.
Break yourself, fool.
She said, you need to stop. I'm like, I don't need to stop. I need to keep going.
Yeah. I need to do a 24-hour show.
Oh, we just start going.
I'll do a marathon.
Oh, just to spite her.
Could do it from the yard.
Yeah. No, I'd be sleeping in the car. I'd be eating the pie off the backyard, for my food.
Broadcasting from the doghouse.
Oh man, that's. Oh man. So, how's your week been, man? What have you been up to since we talked last?
It's been really good. We got a bunch of stuff going on here with our family. My mother flew in from New Jersey. Which sounds very dangerous with all the COVID stuff. But she actually said that she was barely around anyone in the Philadelphia airport. You know how busy that typically is. Yeah. So she was able to keep her distance from everybody. She did, sit on the plane, but she had her mask on the whole time. And when she landed, there was barely anybody at our airport. And, there were people, but she was able to keep her distance. So it wasn't like a crowd like you're, walking through the mall or something. What else? Oh, so we brought her home and she got to see our new house for the first time, which is really nice. And we've done some shopping and she's been baking cookies like a crazy person. I don't know who she thinks she's baking for. We're only a few people in this house, but I swear trays and trays and trays of cookies. And then we went to actually go see my brother. We drove, my mom and I drove to Scott Air Force Base near St. Louis yesterday, Sunday. And we had a great time. I saw my brother. He's 12 years younger than me. He's in the Air Force. And my mom hadn't seen him in 2 years. So we got to basically spend the day with him in his apartment on base and just kind of chilled out, watched TV, hung around, took some pictures, hung out with his dog. He's got a German Shepherd, really sweet, like 8-month-old giant puppy of a German Shepherd. Had pizza. It was a good time. Then we had the 3-hour drive home after that.
I was going to say, was that a day trip?
Yeah, it was pretty much an entire day. I mean, we left in the morning, and the drive is about 3.5 to 4 hours, both ways. So we got there, we hung out for, a majority of the day, like maybe 5 or 6 hours, then left his place about 6 or 7 o'clock. And, we crossed time zones. So it was longer heading back. It took that extra hour was tacked on during the drive home. And my mom, she had the idea. We were just talking, listening to Christmas music, and a lot of Christmas music is like upbeat, but some of it is like really drawn out, like the crooners and slow, and little twinkles and jingle bells kind of lull you, like they're almost like lullabies. And I was like, Mom, this is not going to do. It's dark out here. I'm driving. I'm going to fall asleep on the road here. So she's like, too bad we can't watch Christmas movies while I'm driving. We could watch Christmas Vacation or something. So, of course, I've got unlimited data, and I was like,
well, put it on.
Maybe we can. So I pulled up Vudu on the phone and just had it sitting there in the front. I wasn't watching a movie while I was driving, but she was watching it. I was listening to it, had it playing through the Bluetooth, and we basically watched the entirety of Christmas Vacation on the drive home.
That's the way to pass the time.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice hour, 45-minute, almost 2-hour block of time out of that drive. and we got home. But she's here, and she's here until January 4th or 5th, and we're just having a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we didn't have anything that exciting happen. We had I had something violent happen due to you in our bet. Yeah, we went live. What was it on Saturday afternoon? And
yeah,
man, I mean, I'm so disappointed that my camera kind of like paused on me because we missed the initial impact.
Of all the times, of all the like 2 seconds to go still, it was so weird that it just happened at the perfect time to not get the moment of impact.
Dude, she hit me so hard. And not only did she hit me with it, she like swooshed it around my face and on top of my head and everything.
Oh my Lord.
She went all in on this thing. So, and at this point, my eyes are pretty much closed. I mean, there's not much going on. I can sense where people were.
Yeah.
Okay, Zach didn't hold back either. I mean,
No.
he hit me pretty hard too.
He did. You could see the whipped cream fly away from your face. Yeah, big old splatter.
Oh, then Skylar was like, "Daddy, I'm scared." I'm like, okay, just hit me.
She just kind of pushed it onto your face.
Oh man,
she didn't want to do it.
For future reference, when we do this thing, I think this is going to be done again.
Yeah.
Ready whip is not the way to go. The canned one,
yeah,
because that stuff spoils so fast.
Oh no!
I was smelling it.
Ew!
All night.
Was it just too liquidy? Ready whip is kind of rough.
I mean, I was pulling it out of my ears.
Oh no!
I was pulling like crust out of my ears and out of my hair. Even after the shampoo, I went into the bathroom like 3 hours later and like scrubbed my goatee because I could still I think even the cream got up my nose.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just couldn't get it out. And that's what I was smelling. It was rough.
Did you do both Cool Whip and Ready Whip or just Ready Whip?
She went straight Ready Whip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she didn't put any Cool Whip in it. She went ahead and bought like 4 or 5 cans of this stuff. got one of the pre-made crusts and kind of went all around in it. Then she made crust for the 2 little ones.
Yeah.
Oh, all 3 of the pies had crust in them. And
wow.
Yeah, I was very aware of it.
Could you feel was it heavier with the crust in there? Could you feel the crust hitting your face?
Oh, you can absolutely. I felt the crust crumble around my face when she hit me with it.
Man, yeah. So go ahead and check out our video. It's on our YouTube page. Like we said, it kind of the phone cuts out a little bit, but it is kind of funny the way it is because you see Janessa kind of walking up towards you, and you're kind of bracing yourself. Yeah, pie in hand, and then we hear the audio, we hear the impact, and you hear you laughing and the big old smack and splatter, and then we see the aftermath, and your face is just covered, like your entire head is covered.
Oh, and you know what? Even though I'm the one that got hit by it, that was a ton of fun. I've never been pied in the face before.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that we did it and we followed through with it, and there was like no backing out, and that was fun. That may be a repercussion for losers down the road.
we even had a comment on the YouTube channel on the video. Commenter said that this should be the new challenge. This should go viral, where people should just be hitting each other with pies in the face like they used to in the old cereals.
Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah,
and let me see. Well, that was Saturday. And later, actually, that day, I mean, after I cleaned up and everything, we decided, we're going to go ahead and take the kids to see Santa.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't seen him this year. Skylar's seen him at school, but actually, they didn't go sit with him. So we went down, sat down with him. He was sitting off to the side. There was like a little stool for the kids to sit on. Mm-hmm. And he was talking to him. And everything was, even the whole like environment that they usually do wasn't even done up like it normally was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we typically don't go to this Santa. We usually go to the one over at the green that's basically behind our house.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even there.
Oh, no.
So they didn't even do their Santa thing there this year.
Yeah, I've been at a couple of malls just for kind of, onesie-twosie shopping for things. And they have Santa there. I think the timing is limited. And, of course, kids are not sitting on, Santa's lap. It's very distant. Santa's wearing a mask. It's a very fancy mask, but it's still a mask. And I think you take pictures where the kids are like standing 6 feet in front of Santa. So you get like this forced perspective kind of thing. We didn't even take Verona this year. And that's something we do every year.
Yeah.
So it just didn't
Well,
happen this year.
Zach was asking about it.
Yeah.
With him asking about it, it was like, okay, since you're specifically, you're mentioning you want to go see him, we have to go see him.
Right.
So, I mean, we went and we did our thing and he enjoyed it. And we were out, and that was about 20 minutes north of where we are, maybe give or take. And Janessa's like, how about we see if there's any like these drive-through light shows we can go see?
Yeah.
And she found it, was like, man, it took another 20 minutes away. But it's like, we're this far out. Let's just go. It was only like 6:00.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's drive out to Xenia. So we went out and we seen one. Apparently, like the local police chief puts on at the like one of these big parks. He basically decorates one of the gazebos and does a show, and it runs for basically 4 hours. It's like an hour-long show because it just keeps on going through new, different things.
Okay.
And that was okay, but it was essentially what someone could do with their house.
I see, and that's what you drove out to see.
Yeah, that was one of them. And that was another one. Was like a full like drive-through thing where you're driving under the lights and you got the things on each side,
right?
All the displays. So that was a little bit further out, maybe another 10 minutes out.
Okay.
So we figured we're 20 minutes out. What's another 10? Let's just go ahead and check this one out. And that was worth the drive.
Yeah, here in Louisville, it's something I kind of want to do, but we'll see if we have time for it while my mom's here. They have something called Lights Under Louisville, and it's a big cave system that's kind of near our zoo, where you actually drive through a cave, and inside the cave, it's all done up with a light show and music, which is pretty cool. I've been through it once, and it was kind of traumatic because this was like years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago now. But my wife and I went through, and my wife couldn't figure out how to turn off the headlights for her Matrix for her car, because it's like one of those things where it had like automatic sensors, and we were flipping through all the settings on the lights, and if the car just senses that it's dark, it's got its lights on, So we couldn't manually like shut it off. So we just were like, we kept getting yelled at basically by the patrons and the workers there. They were like, please turn your lights off. You're ruining the experience for the people in front of you. We were like, we don't know what to do, but we were stuck. I mean, once you're in there, you just have to like keep going. It's like a drive-through, you know what I mean? So that was traumatic enough for us. If we go again, we definitely have to be in a vehicle where we know how the heck to turn the lights off. But yeah, that's something that they have down here. Maybe you guys can head down here one year. We could all do that together.
Is it the Louisville Caverns?
I think the mega caverns. I don't know if that's the same thing. There's here in Kentucky, there's a ton of cave systems.
Yeah, I liked one of them. So it's like had like zip lines and everything in it.
Yeah,
it was like one of those things I kind of wanted to hit up on maybe one point.
Yeah,
but I've seen them advertising. But they may have multiples. But let me see. What was one last thing? Oh, okay. So you know how I used to love playing Risk, and you hated playing Risk against me or with me for that matter.
I like the game of Risk, but they just lasted too dang long, man. I lost interest.
they have improved it.
Oh, good.
I just bought a new one, and they actually have something called Mission Risk as well.
Okay,
but you need at least 3 people for that.
I see.
But so you'd either like say occupy 34 territories or eliminate all the red pieces, and that's how you win if that's your mission.
Okay.
Zach and I decided we were going to play, and it was his very first time playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing and rolling the dice and
explaining
to him how we get things, and he's enjoying it. Definitely when he's winning, battles, he's loving it.
Yeah.
But I got him so tunnel visioned. Like he had like a massive army on like North Africa.
Right.
And so I put a few big ones. Next thing I know, he's putting like cannons. He's putting like massive amount of armies here. So he would fight me, and then I'd be able to reinforce him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'd be fighting elsewhere. And then I would say, basically, I beat him all the way out of South America. I spread all the way up, took North America.
Yeah.
Already had Australia because that's always my go-to.
Right.
So I'm getting all these reinforcements from owning these continents. And the next thing he knows it, I'm going from Alaska across into to Asia.
Yeah.
And then I almost have him circled. And then he's like, whoa, what just happened? He was paying so much attention to one spot.
Yeah.
He didn't realize that I had him locked in there, and I was doing other things.
Oh my God. You show no mercy either when you're playing.
No.
Even with your own boy, you're not going to show any mercy. I'm different. I'm kind of a sucker when I'm playing board board games with Verona, if I have the option of dropping down the skip or the draw 4 or something on her, I might just put down the yellow card and spare, that kind of thing. We actually played Sorry this weekend, so you have the option of either bumping her back to her home or not, that sort of thing. So I'm usually kind of nicer, and because I just when she loses, she takes it super hard. And when she wins, she gets super excited. I'm like, what the hell do I care if I win a stupid board game? Anyway, we're just having fun. But you're a little different. You're a little more cutthroat.
Oh my! See, Zach would be the same way though.
Yeah,
he gets upset when he loses, but when he's winning, there is no mercy at all. Like he was loading, like he basically took all of Africa.
Yeah,
because he was like putting, like before I realized that he had like have like 30 armies in one area, going after like my 5 that I'm just putting there just to make him think that I'm caring about the spot.
Yeah,
but he's just blasting them. I mean, just going at me full force. And as soon as he realizes the strategic portion of Risk,
right,
that's when this game board may get flipped. Oh, but yeah, I even told him, so there's another one. This game doesn't come with that specific version of it, but it's called Capital Risk as well.
Okay.
And what you do is you get your cards, you get your actual territories, and then each person actually would designate what their capital is.
Mm.
And you can either win by world domination, right, or you can eliminate a player by taking their capital and holding it for more than 2 turns.
Oh, okay.
So that can shorten the game quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
Now, I think that version is, everyone kind of interprets that version a little differently. I don't know if that's a sanctioned version,
right?
But it makes it a little more fun. It gives you an objective to go after something rather than just domination.
Right, right. Yeah, you were bigger on board games than I was pretty much throughout our whole childhood. I've never been a huge fan. I know our mutual friend Katie, I mean, every time we're over her house, she wants to bring out a board game. She's got a huge collection of them. I stuck to some classics like Uno, which is, technically a card game, and some other stuff. But like Monopoly was always too long. I'd always get bored. Risk, I really enjoyed Risk, like starting a game of Risk. But then you and I would constantly have to just like walk away from it and like try to keep it on a table or something in your bedroom and not touch it. Never worked.
Nope, never worked.
But yeah, I can see the value of that. And playing with our kids is something that's fun. Anything to get them off the dang tablet, man. Even though they're doing the same thing, at least they're interacting a little bit more and not staring at a screen. So I'm for it.
Yeah, I played some Guess Who with Skylar tonight. That's always fun.
Yeah,
she has no idea what's going on.
That's right.
Then she gets so mad. It's like she answers my questions correctly, and I'm putting all the characters down right.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden her whole board flips closed. I'm going to win this one.
Run will constantly try to like get up and take a sneak peek at my card to see what I got.
That's funny. Yeah, there's no mercy in me on either side. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but
probably a good thing because you're preparing them for real life. Real life's not going to show them any damn mercy.
Not going to care. Right. Oh man, that's some funny stuff. Yes, I mean, while we're playing board games with our kids, we've talked about this in the past. We both love us some Christmas movies.
Yeah, we do.
And I think there's some very obvious Christmas movies. You have, your Muppets Christmas Carols. You have Scrooged.
Any Christmas Carol Ebenezer variation, any adaptation.
Muppets Christmas Carol for me, and I'll say this, this may be controversial. That is the best version of A Christmas Carol. He's my favorite Scrooge. Yeah. I think he's the best Scrooge, and then just adding the Muppets amplifies it. I can't watch any other version of a Christmas Carol.
How many other versions of A Christmas Carol have you watched though?
I have watched the originals.
What do you mean? What's the original?
I don't know. The black and white one.
Okay, Alistair Sim. Okay.
I've watched, Disney's version with like the Mickey and all them.
Okay, Mickey's Christmas Carol. Yeah.
Jim Carrey's version.
Yeah.
And I have not watched Scrooged. That's on my list of what to watch. I know you bust me every time I say that every year.
My heart.
But Scrooged is something that I gotta find.
Scrooged is kind of its own thing because he's not Ebenezer. He's a guy named Frank Cross, and even though it is the Christmas Carol story, it's so different from all the other versions. You can almost classify it as its own thing. So I invite you some year, maybe this year, to watch it at some point. I do agree with you. I mean, Muppet Christmas Carol is one of my top ones, but for me, it's probably the George C. Scott version. But anyway, we're getting away from this. We're not even talking about Christmas movies. We're talking about the movies that take place during Christmas and are considered to be not
the
Christmas
controversial
movies.
Christmas movies.
Yeah, there you go.
Either you
Nice
think they're
alliteration.
Christmas movies or you don't think they're Christmas movies. And I think the easiest way and the best way to start this is I could not find a clear definition of what a Christmas movie is.
Sure.
I have one. I put a Christmas movie is a movie that was intended to be a holiday movie. I think that's a pretty good one. But that's my interpretation. There's another one out there that says a Christmas movie is a film that we revisit with friends and family at Christmas time, not for the holiday content, but simply for pure escapism and entertainment value. That is vague.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be anything from A Muppet's Christmas Carol to The Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, it could be The Wizard of Oz, like something that's a family film and not necessarily anything to do with Christmas, but people like watching, you know, when you're together with your family, like a classic. So
yeah,
that is very vague. Yeah.
So I don't know if we should really go with either of these. I mean,
well, what is your? These are a couple of definitions that you found. What is your definition of a?
Well, one of them
film?
was my definition, a movie that was intended to be a holiday movie.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I think it has to do with content when it was released.
Mm-hmm.
Those two play big parts for me.
When you say content, what kind of content?
It was. See, you're backing me into a corner, sir. It has to have the joy of the season in it.
Okay.
In some manner. If it's comedy, if it's horror, horror is weird, but there's genre. There's a whole genre of like Christmas horror movies, which is
like Black Christmas and
Santa Jaws and just things that aren't my thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's one movie that I really enjoy, and it's of the Family Man.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it takes place during Christmas,
right?
But I personally don't know. I don't know if it's a Christmas movie. Some people would say it's a Christmas movie because I mean, you have the holiday parties, New Year's, the whole thing. You know, it's all happening during that time of year.
Yeah.
But I personally don't know if it's a Christmas. Now, I watch it anywhere between after Halloween to the New Year.
Yeah.
But that's where
your window is shrinking. The more you talk, the more is shrinking as far as what you personally considered a Christmas film. And the Family Man, which you've brought up as, you know, kind of one of your favorite movies, that's just a derivative of It's a Wonderful Life, which I would argue is like the Christmas movie. Like that goes hand in hand with Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life, but there's no Santa. There's no, you know, it takes place during Christmas, and it's about a guy, you know, having a guardian angel, and he's, you know, down on his luck, and it's very kind of a depressing film.
Yeah. So much so I haven't watched it.
Yeah. So, but that is definitely a Christmas movie, in my opinion. So, do you consider It's a Wonderful Life to be a Christmas movie?
As much as like Charlie Brown and Rudolph, I guess, you know, it's one of those ones that we grew up. It's automatically one.
Yeah, and that's
like
maybe that's
on 34th Street. It's like
right.
It's one of those types.
Right. So, does a Christmas movie, if it's more of a family film, then you're a little easier on it. But if it's more of a drama that has themes that are more adult related, do you find it hard to classify it as a Christmas movie?
I never thought of that, but probably.
Yeah.
If it's a movie that it cannot be enjoyed by the whole family,
right,
it's harder to call it a Christmas movie, because Christmas movies, in my opinion, don't really deal with adult content. And I'm not talking adult situations. I'm just talking in general.
Sure, just like adult themes, stuff, you know, meat to chew on, you know, stuff that adults can talk about after the film, that kind of thing.
Sit down and I want to watch. I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan.
Yeah.
but I know Zach loves that slapstick comedy.
Sure.
I am 100% sure when I sit down with Zach, he's gonna love Elf.
Yeah.
Now, I may look at it differently after seeing it through his eyes, just like the original prequels of Star Wars.
Right.
I may enjoy it more that he enjoys it.
Yeah.
But if I can sit down and watch, if I can sit down and watch something with Skylar,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I look at what a holiday movie is.
And Elf is an example and a great example, not only of a Christmas movie, but a movie that can be enjoyed by the entire family. There's not a lot of, there are some family films, they're quote unquote family films, but they're really just targeted towards kids where the adults are just going to be yawning and not paying attention to the whole time. Like something like, I don't know, like an Angry Birds or something. I don't know, just something like an animated film that's not really geared towards the whole family. Then there are other films that, of course, that adults want to watch and kids have no interest for. But then there are certain swath of films, Star Wars is included in this, where that's for all ages. Like kids can eat it up, adults can be nostalgic for it, or just enjoy it outright. Our friend John from the Basement Surge, I mean, he's fairly new to Star Wars, yet he ate up the Mandalorian like crazy, because he was just loving it. So some stuff is actually for all ages. You and I think this is the biggest sticking point as far as what is classified as a Christmas movie, is that, in my opinion, it can be any genre. You can have a horror Christmas movie. You can have an action Christmas movie. You can have a raunchy comedy that's a Christmas movie. You can have, a kid's animated film that's a Christmas movie. But I don't know. It's tough. There is one movie on this list where I can really argue for it, and it kind of goes back and forth each year. But you've come up with a kind of a small list, a small batch of films that are considered by a lot of people to be Christmas films, and a lot of people aren't. Like considered by a lot of people to not be Christmas films. They're very controversial, like you said.
Yeah, it's real. Most people, it's yes or no.
Yeah,
there's no like thinking. And honestly, there's one on here, Iron Man. I never thought of Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
being a Christmas movie, but apparently there's a scene where he's Tony Stark is sitting next to one of his suits and Jingle Bells is playing, and he's kind of like Scrooge,
right?
And that's kind of the character that he's being in that moment. And I'm like, that's a stretch for me. It said I don't find any of the Marvel movies Christmas movies.
Yeah, I would agree with you that Iron Man 3 being considered a Christmas movie is a stretch. I myself actually wouldn't classify Iron Man 3 as a Christmas movie. And my line varies. So to have this conversation with you, there are some where I'm going to fight tooth and nail that it is a Christmas movie, and others where I can't. And some of them are very similar. But I mean, Iron Man 3, I will say it was written and directed by a guy named Shane Black, who's been working in Hollywood forever and ever. And he wrote actually another movie on this list, Lethal Weapon. That's kind of his thing, where the scripts that he writes, almost all of his movies take place around Christmas, even though they're like adult action drama comedy things. None of them would be considered family films. I mean, the guy did Predator, for Pete's sake. They're around Christmas time. So Lethal Weapon's another one. It takes place around Christmas, so people have Christmas lights. The main action sequence. Gary Busey drives a car through the family's living room and their Christmas tree. So Christmas is used as kind of a set dressing, but it also has themes of coming together, of family. Mel Gibson's character, he lost his wife, and he's desperate, and he's lost faith in God and himself and his life, and he almost checks out at the beginning of the film, but he finds a partner and a friend and a family that actually embraces him and brings him into the house. Which that sort of story and storytelling mechanism of somebody who's lost and then found by the power of like family, that screams Christmas to me. So
but that's not specific just to Christmas. That can be year round.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
that could be someone that's just a junkie in the middle of Christmas.
Yeah,
and it's cleaned up, and somebody helps them, and they find them all the way through like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That can be a Thanksgiving theme. That could be a 4th of July theme, and that theme there is universal.
Right. That's true. That's true. We'll get into it towards the end of this list. But what are some other films?
Well, real quick, the two that we already talked about, and this is a sticking point for me as well, in my mindset when I don't think they were intended to be Christmas movies, is Iron Man was released in May, and Lethal Weapon was released in March.
Right.
So, with my definition in my head, were they intended to be Christmas movies? I would argue that neither of these were intended to be Christmas movies that we've already spoken of.
And my argument there, I share a different point of view where I don't listen to a marketing team determining when they're going to make the most money during the year to tell me what's a Christmas movie or not.
But if the marketing team knows it's going to be a holiday movie, at least now, they purposely wait until November or later to release the film to get the biggest buck out of it. Even if it's, say, your typical, summer blockbuster. Like, for instance, Top Gun was going to be released during the holiday season. Christmas is almost as big a time now as the summer months. The summer months have kind of fizzled.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So, I mean, granted, we're going back for, Lethal Weapon in 87.
Right.
So that was, we're aging ourselves.
Yeah.
It goes back a little ways. But, I mean, Iron Man was in 13. So, I mean, if they were going to consider that an actual holiday movie, now, granted, they were on a weird release schedule because they were pumping out movies like crazy for their timelines.
Yeah.
So I don't think they could have delayed it.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, that was kind of one of the sticking points I put in there for a holiday movie.
So you don't believe that a holiday movie that's released and not intended to be a holiday movie, even though if people watch it around the holidays after it's hit home video and it becomes a tradition for them, it's not a holiday movie.
There's a difference between a traditional family movie, in my opinion, and what is a holiday movie. So I can sit down and go in the living room and I can watch Batman Begins. And it's something, say, me and Zach will start watching every year this time of year.
Right.
But that's not a Christmas movie.
Right.
But
well, I know Batman Begins isn't a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I'm using that one as an example because there's no way that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But if me and him start watching Gremlins every year, because that's another one on our list, I would agree with the list. That is an off-genre Christmas movie. Now, I watched that with my 4-year-old daughter this year, which makes me twisted. And they all loved it. But there was a scene in the movie I wasn't prepared for. Yeah. And it put me into full freaking scrambled daddy mode.
Yeah, let's hear about this.
Oh, man, when she is explaining to when she found out
Santa Phoebe Cates' character,
Yeah, the whole explanation on why she doesn't believe in Santa Claus.
With her dad and the chimney, and if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so all of a sudden I'm getting questioned by Zach. I'm like, oh no, because I've already explained away the Gremlins.
Yeah.
This is a movie, this is for fun. Then he starts asking me about Santa. I'm like, dude, just like the Gremlins, it's all in the movie. Yeah. Don't play anything more into it. It's just the movie, it's like a book, it's all it is. And I get into, Janessa looks at me in amazement sometimes.
Right.
Because when I get into scramble mode, I think so fast on my feet, it amazes her. And I'm doing it so much, I'm seeing her up her game. It's pretty funny. But yeah, that movie there, I wasn't prepared for that.
All right.
But they loved the gremlin getting blown up in the microwave or being put in the blender. I mean, they loved that whole thing. And that movie there would fall more into the horror type category of a Christmas movie than really a family Christmas movie.
Okay, so Iron Man 3, was that, in your opinion, is that or is that not a Christmas movie?
No, I don't think there's anything. I mean, if they really, really want to like harp on that one scene, there's nothing more besides that one scene and it's going to take more than just sitting on the couch hearing jingle bells with a beer in your hand, or
to be fair, you haven't seen Iron Man 3, right?
I've seen Iron Man 3.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
So Iron Man 3, okay. So I'm just trying to determine what the differences are, because in my mind, it's hard to justify you calling Iron Man 3 not a Christmas film, but Gremlins is.
Well, the whole thing, the Mogwai was a Christmas gift.
Okay.
It was a gift that happened. So the whole movie was based around a Christmas gift that was given. and
Okay.
then he got wet and he turned into many. Then they got fed, and it just
There's just too much Christmas for you to deny.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. That I mean, it was
Okay,
one thing
Christmas
after.
was too integral to the plot.
Yeah, if the
Okay.
whole story is tied around a Christmas story,
Right.
that's when I have no way of actually disputing it. And
Okay.
Gremlins is one of those ones that the Christmas is so intertwined to the whole story itself.
Yeah.
There's no disputing it.
Okay, but then something like Lethal Weapon, even though it's got the same number of Christmas decorations up that Gremlins did, because of the fact that Martin Riggs and Roger Murtaugh could form a bond and relationship anytime outside of the Christmas season, and that's the heart of the film. It's not too dependent on being Christmas time itself, and that doesn't count as a Christmas film.
Yeah, it could happen on a beach in June. I mean, it happened to be a Christmas tree in certain areas, and every now and then you hear things.
Okay.
So,
okay, all right. Well, I'll give you that. I can grant you that. That's okay. All right. I'm starting to get a better picture of what does and doesn't count. And Gremlins is its own monster, man. Pardon the pun, but like, it is crazy. I mean, it's a scary family film. I mean, it's considered a comedy. It's considered a horror. It's kind of considered a family film because like Gizmo's so cute, and it's,
yep.
you know, it was beloved by kids of the 80s, you know, kids that are even a bit older than us. But it's scary, man. Like, you were taking a chance by showing it to your kids, and you had to like sidestep and do some quick thinking but like you said, I mean, they loved it.
They wanted to watch it again immediately. It's like, no, let's take it. We're not rewatching this.
Yeah,
but
another one on the list. You mentioned Batman already with your example, but Batman Returns takes place during the Christmas season.
This one I kind of want to recuse myself from.
Okay.
And the reason why is,
yeah,
in my opinion, that is the worst Batman ever made.
Okay.
I can't sit through it. I can't watch it. I don't like seeing clips of Danny DeVito as Penguin. I don't like seeing Catwoman. I like nothing about this film.
Right.
So my inkling says no, but I haven't seen it in so long. It's almost like my Air Force One of Batman.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to me, it's a Batman film first. And to me, I would classify it as a Christmas film. It's definitely not the funny thing is, it's not really a family film. It's not appropriate for kids. You know, they sold it as the Batman. The 89 Batman was the hottest property ever. And Warner Brothers just, gave Tim Burton a dump truck full of money and just said, hey, do whatever you want, to their own chagrin, because then they made Happy Meal toys with the Penguin and Catwoman. And Catwoman was way too sexy for kids to be into, and dressed in, and on all her leather bound vinyl and everything. And then, Penguin was this child murderer. And that's the film that Tim Burton made. So it was actually a big controversy at the time because they had all this licensing done up with Happy Meal toys and everything. And it just kind of backfired on it because the film is really not appropriate for younger audiences. But it does take it's Christmas time in Gotham. There's snow falling in almost every scene. The Penguin is there, and you got that kind of Arctic feeling. You've got him looking for his family, even though it's kind of a ruse, like he knows who his family is. There's Christmas is mentioned throughout. There's a big tree lighting ceremony in the middle of the film. So Christmas is like permeated throughout the film. But like you said,
as long as it's an intricate part of the film,
yeah,
I would accept it. It's the only reason I'm not doing anything with this one here is I just can't stand anything about the film.
Okay, fair enough. Well, another Tim Burton film that a lot of people watch around this time of year is one that I kind of forgot took place around Christmas. I don't know. It's kind of because there are scenes that take place during the summertime. I know, when he's like doing the topiary in the front yard and everything. But Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. What do you think about that one?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my memory is very vague on this one here. Now, this one here falls into my category, though. They released it in the middle of December. So it makes me think that there was some type of inkling that they were kind of at least given that feeling.
Yeah.
That it may have some type of holiday feel to it. So, I mean, like I said, this one's hard for me to talk about as well because it's been so long. But some people loved it.
I will say there are some, I kind of draw a line with some of these movies where people do bring them out in December because they have maybe some Christmas scenes in them. like an Edward Scissorhands or even like the Harry Potter films.
Some
I mean,
people think all the Harry Potter films are Christmas movies because they all wind up having some type of
right.
celebration. Because how it happens during the winter months.
Yeah, well, it takes place. It's basically an entire school year, so they'll have like a few scenes during Halloween time, a few scenes during like Christmas break, and the Hogwarts is all done up for Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
But I myself, because it does take place over an entire school year, and Edward Scissorhands does have scenes that take place in the summer. It's kind of a long, drawn out story. I don't consider them Christmas movies.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I have a hard time, buying into that one as well.
Yeah.
There's another one here that if it wasn't for this list, I would have never even thought of.
What's that?
The Sound of Music.
Oh, okay.
Is that one? I don't think of Christmas at all with that. I think in the dancing through green fields and hills and everything.
Right.
I don't find that one to be Christmas at all. I wonder if there's a reason behind that one. I'm just going to click on the link, and let's just kind of look at it here.
Backstory, yeah, isn't it like take place during World War I or something?
Yeah, that sounds Christmassy to me. Let's just see where Batman Returns, Little Women, Steel Mongolia. Okay, so The Sound of Music first became associated with Christmas. It was on TV around Christmas so much, but a lot of the movie has elements of Christmas. First of all, singing. They deck the halls through the technical. Yeah, no, sorry. Just singing the flipping music and it being on TV around Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
That's the loosest version of what a Christmas movie is.
So to me, to you and I both, basically, Sound of Music doesn't count. And we've already touched on Harry Potter, and these are similar. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, another kind of fantasy film, has a lot of wintry, Christmassy elements, but I wouldn't necessarily, just because it's a fantasy film that has Christmas elements to it, I wouldn't consider it a holiday film.
I forgot about this one here, but I fall on the other side of the fence on this one.
Okay.
Because Father Christmas is actually in the film. So he's actually in towards the end of the film. He's the one that gives, the three characters, their sword, their
I'd forgotten about that. Okay.
Yeah, so he gives them all their weapons, the bow and arrow. I think another one's like a liquid that helps bring someone back or something like that. And he's the one that they jump on his sled that's being pulled by like jackrabbits away from the queen. So, and it all happens in the winter months. Granted, because the Ice Queen or whatever she was froze basically Narnia.
Yeah.
And it was up to them, bringing them back. And Father Christmas was the one that actually helped them bring everything, come around.
So release date December 9th, 2005. That also lines up with your intent.
That was intentional because also it has a lot of faith underlines in it.
I see.
Because you have Aslan, the lion, who was actually the god figure.
Right.
And then the queen, the Ice Queen, was actually the demon figure.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like Christian faith undertones in this whole movie. So not only does it hit Santa and all that, winter, but it also has that faith undertone in it as well. And it wasn't something I thought about for a while until I started looking into this, but I can actually buy that one. As
okay, so that's too much Christmas for you to deny. Another example.
Yeah, another one it's not all really in your face. You gotta kind of sit back and look for it a little bit in this one here.
Right.
And once someone points a few things out, it's very easy to see them.
Sure. There's a lot of like faith-based allegory and stuff. Okay. Yeah. Well, you convinced me. I came around to that. I was thinking it was more in line with the Harry Potter films, just kind of straight up fantasy. But yeah, it's a fantasy series that's based with a lot of underlying Christian themes. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Now this one alone, there's like the Night Trader, and there's a few other films that don't fall into that. This will be the only one of that series that would fall into that Christmas movie genre.
So we touched on it in the beginning of the conversation, and their movie is not on this list. But what do you think about like the gory slasher horror movie films that definitely they like take place on Christmas Eve, and like the slasher is like dressed up in a Santa suit, and the movie cover is like Christmas lights and a corpse on the cover? Are those Christmas movies?
Not in my opinion, no.
Okay.
they're trying to cash in on the holidays.
Yeah.
And I'll give them a big no. Okay. if you walk into an adult store and she's wearing nothing but a Christmas hat, is that a Christmas movie? Christmas hat and some red lingerie. Does that make it a Christmas movie with a tree behind her?
Yeah. To me, yeah, it's just a Christmas movie of a different genre, my friend. But that is too much Christmas for me to deny.
Oh, she's being too jolly to her fellow man.
'Tis the season to be merry.
Oh boy, jingle balls, jingle bells.
But yeah, this is tough, man, because a lot of these people have such varied opinion on, and it's tough because you and I, a lot of these we fall into the same, idea towards it. A lot of them we differ, and it's hard to back up your argument because there's a lot of counterpoints. Okay, here's a franchise that's near and dear to our heart. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show in the future. But Rocky, the Rocky series, we love it. A lot of it has to take place around the holidays. The first movie, Apollo and Rocky, there's some scenes that take place during Christmas, where Paulie starts, bashing the house with the baseball bat and, the Christmas turkey and stuff, some dramatic stuff. And then in Rocky IV, the main fight against Ivan Drago actually takes place Christmas Day. So what are you thinking? Is Rocky IV a Christmas movie?
I mean, the only thing Christmas with that movie is when they show, his son and family back at home in Philly.
Yeah,
watching it on TV, and you can tell in that environment it's Christmas time,
right?
But he's in Russia from October doing CrossFit in the snow.
It's very snowy. Yeah, it's Christmassy.
I mean, the Rocky theme song doesn't scream jingle bells. I have a hard time with this one. I really do. Just because, I mean, if they were training in Philly, and he was running by the churches and everything, and you've seen the lights and the wreaths and houses, like the first one, like he was training in the streets.
Right.
If you were able to get that, I would be able to say yes. But here with him living basically in a barn out in the woods in Russia, training for this fight, I have a hard time, accepting this as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the Rocky series, almost more than any other one. A lot of the films in those series, they have scenes. It's another thing where the stories in them, they tend to take place over a long period of time. Like Rocky was training for months and months normally, and I know in that first one and throughout a lot of them, he's leading up to a fight that's kind of months away. There's a lot of drama. They have scenes that take place in and around Christmas, and I wouldn't blame anybody. Say if a father and son, this is a typical movie for them to watch traditionally in the month of December because they just love the Rocky series and they have those few scenes. And I wouldn't fault them at all for, a couple of or for families to like bring this out and make this a holiday movie watching tradition. But yeah, it's kind of tough to call the movie specifically a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and it falls in that category, like I said before. If me and Zach just start watching Batman Begins in December every year,
yeah,
I mean, it becomes a tradition. It becomes a family tradition, not a holiday movie.
Okay, so here is the piece de resistance. I mean, here is the film that so many people are divided on. It's the one that tops the list every year. Of course, we got to talk about Die Hard. All right, so let's set this up. I definitely consider Die Hard a Christmas movie, and you do not.
I do not.
If you could elaborate, for me, this fits in a category where there's just too much Christmas to deny.
Okay, then sell it. I want to hear you sell it.
Okay.
Stand up as a lawyer, put that tie on, put your coffee down, start pacing in front of the judge. I want to see.
Besides the fact that actually today there was an article released where John McTiernan, the director, officially stamps the Christmas label on it. He considered it a Christmas movie, the director. There are some points against it. It was released in the summer, so I'll give you that. But to me, like I said, necessarily that doesn't mean it's not a Christmas film. I mean, back to front, it takes place on Christmas Eve. The guy is a cop from New York. His wife went out months ago because her career is taking off. She moves out to LA. There's a divide between this family. He hasn't seen her or, their kids in months. He's trying to reconcile. Reconciliation is actually a big theme in Christmas, and A Christmas Carol in particular. Ebenezer Scrooge is a dick. He's made a lot of mistakes in his life, and reconciling with the people in his life, it's, you know, that's not necessarily exclusively a Christmas theme. Like you mentioned earlier, you can reconcile with people any time of the year, but reconciliation takes place in a lot of holiday themed movies, because I think it's because it's forced. It's a time where you're forced to be with your family, a time where you're forced to be with people you're not necessarily forced to be with at any other time of the year. You see them, and a lot of families have a lot of issues where they either continue the cycle of having the same feelings that they live with the rest of the year, or they take Christmas time as an opportunity to just share in the love and joy of being together, and reconciling. So, like I said, reconciliation, not necessarily exclusively to Christmas movies, but it takes place in a lot of them. And this has it in spades. And this is what drives the whole plot of the film. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, there's a lot of action. It's an action movie, okay? It's arguably the greatest action movie of all time. And I don't think you would deny that.
Top Gun. I can't put Die Hard in front. Yes, I can't put
arguably, okay. But you were a fan of Die Hard, are you not?
I enjoy Die Hard. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that is the crux of the film. So he lands in LA. It's Christmas Eve. He wants to see his wife. He wants to see his kids. There's the theme of reconciliation throughout. It's about him winning his wife back after just screwing up royally for months and months. He gets to Nakatomi Plaza. They're having a Christmas party. So another ding for Christmas. There's Christmas trees everywhere. Another ding for Christmas. There's Christmas songs on the soundtrack. There's
hold on. We're gonna stop the train right here.
Okay.
There's Christmas songs on the soundtrack.
Yes.
Dude, we're going to exclude soundtracks from this argument. Move forward, sir.
Excuse me. Give me a reason. And I don't mean the CD that you buy that has Christmas songs on it, although that would be a valid argument. But throughout the movie, it opens up with Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC, with Argyle, the limo driver, playing John McClane, Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. And there's other Christmas music sprinkled throughout. The finale of the film, after John is reconciled with Holly and they're driving off in that same limo, you get papers flying off from the exploded building, all these bearer bonds that Hans Gruber failed to steal. They're flying through the air, looking like snow. And a very Christmassy "Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow" is playing as they drive off, kissing in the back seat. Incredibly Christmassy. So, ho, 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 I have a machine gun, it's scrolled on the dead body. So, in my opinion, there's just too much Christmas to deny. It takes place during Christmas Eve, and everything I've just said, it just happens to have a whole lot of ass-kicking action in it.
But it fails in one of my vital categories.
Let's hear it.
Family film.
Yeah, see, that's where we're going to differ.
It's not. I cannot sit down in the living room, definitely with my 7-year-old son, and I know I'm going to hear "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker." I'm gonna hear it. I can't have him hear that because I'm gonna hear that for like a week.
Well, I have a counterpoint. Okay, so in that case, that excludes Die Hard from being a Christmas film. How about the one that we are neglecting here? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Christmas is in the title. Definitely not a family film, sir. You're not going to sit down with Zach and watch Christmas Vacation.
I watch it with Zach and Skylar every year.
That's not a family film.
There's so much there's so many. It's like watching Shrek. Okay, I'll use Shrek as my argument. Okay. It's like watching Shrek with him. He sees them driving out to cut the Christmas tree down.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand what's going on with Clark and what's her name? What's the mom's name? Blanken. Anyway, when she's like, "I want to be alive," and then they crash the car. Right. Or when the daughter can't feel her legs, he sees them cutting down the tree.
Sure.
Or when, there's so many adult like undertones in that movie that kids don't understand. It's like a kid sitting in the living room during holidays and adults are talking. The kids aren't registering what the adults are talking about.
All right. So when Chevy Chase is in the department store talking to the one hot clerk, And you can't see the line, can you, Russ? Later in the movie where he's envisioning her by the pool, totally undressing. Later in the movie when he's going on a profanity-written tirade about how his boss screwed him over. Yeah, so definitely not appropriate for kids. And I think
I'll say the two scenes I'll give you. The pool scene when she's coming up and she's like, he's picturing her naked,
right?
And the mall. Those two there's no hiding that.
Merry Christmas, shitters fool.
Zach laughs at that.
It's funny. It's not a family film.
Oh, like I said though, I think there's a lot. There's no way to hide Die Hard. There's no way to hide it. It is what it is, and because there's nothing to distract them. Them popping open the tree in the living room, or Chevy falling off the house. Right. There's so much other slapstick comedy happening in it that a younger kid is going to see past or not notice what else is going on when the adults are laughing because they find something else funny.
Okay. All right. See, it's the argument is varied. There, according to Chris, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, film for all ages. According to me, no, not so much. But you can see over a conversation where the lines are blurred, where they fall. I'm curious to think what our listeners think about these choices.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to lose on a lot of these with our listeners. I'm pretty certain. Oh man, that was fun. So, what do you say? We get onto that sled after I done greased it up, jump on that hill, and just shoot into oblivion into that cheesy. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay. So because of the holiday season, I'm in a giving mood for some dad jokes, Christmas style.
Okay.
I'm going to start with one. And it says, what do you call a broke Santa?
I don't know. What do you call a broke Santa?
Saint Nicholas.
Nope. No crickets there. I liked it. Nicholas.
Okay, I figured you're gonna laugh at one. Do you want to go ahead? Do you have one or do you have two?
I have one, so let's make it a dad joke sandwich here.
Go for
it. What do you get when you eat Christmas decorations?
What do you get?
Tinselitis.
No, I'm not laughing at that.
Oh
no, I'm not laughing at that. No, I'm not. Not doing it.
Tinselitis. Okay.
Oh man, that was rough. Okay, this one's gonna be rough. What do you call a bunch of chess players bragging about their games in a hotel lobby?
Oh, God, I don't know what the hell you call that.
Chestnuts boasting in an open foyer.
Oh, okay. Boy, okay, you were in that one. All right.
Like I said, one's going to be a funny one, one's going to be a groaner.
That was a groaner. Yeah. Good job. Merry Christmas. You get crickets.
Woo! Got to go out the year with at least one set. Let's see here. You want to start plugging all our...
So that's going to... Well, are we going to be back? We're not doing another show before the new year, are we?
What's the... No.
Okay.
Janessa has us all from basically now till... that Friday the 1st. So the second will be the first time we'll be back. So the third will be our first show back.
Okay. So that's going to be it for this episode. And that's going to be it for 2020 for the Dadnarok podcast. We'll be back after the holiday break. It's been an incredible year, a crazy year. I know I don't have to tell you guys, you listeners out there, what it's been like this year.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun year for me and Chris, actually growing this podcast, starting the vodcast portion of it. Interacting with you guys on Twitter and a few of you on Twitch starting up. So it's been crazy just doing this thing and growing the podcast from our measly beginnings, those first few episodes. We've gotten better and better. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday. And I can't wait to talk to you again in 2021.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you guys enjoy the time with your family. If you're just staying home, figure out a way to make it as normal as you possibly can and stay safe. I think that's important for everyone this year. Hopefully the end of this is within sight, and next year we can actually enjoy everyone's presence like we have in past years.
Or I'll give out Dadnarok social stuff.
Yeah.
Join us on dadnarok.com. You're going to find past episodes, and you'll find links to our TeePublic shop and links to all of our social media pages, including YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. So go ahead and join us on there, and we will catch you next year.
Okay. Well, you guys have a happy holiday and see you next year.
Bye.
Yeah. Peace.